All right, well, let's be honest. Marketing directly to prospects via email can seem like you're standing on a diving board 10 meters above the deep end of the pool and wondering whether there's a shark or a friggin' nuclear bomb in the water. You probably heard about or heard the term cold emailing and thought, well, that's just spam. That's what that is, right? Or maybe the idea of annoying somebody with an unsolicited email gives you awful flashbacks to those networking mixers where everybody just sort of shoves their business card in your hand and fake smiles. I get it. Cold emailing, if you've never done it before, can seem like uncharted and scary territory for beginner voice actors. Heck, it's scary and uncharted for even pro voice actors if you haven't done it before. But here's the truth. That's exactly how I built my six-figure VO business. Let's start with the fear. First, it's absolutely natural. Sending cold email to someone you've never met before feels vulnerable. You're putting yourself, or more appropriately, you're putting your services out there, and you feel like there's a good chance you'll be ignored or rejected, or maybe even worse, called annoying or pestering. But here's the thing. Nobody builds a successful voiceover business. Heck, nobody builds a successful business by staying in the comfort zone. The voiceover business is extremely competitive, and if you're not putting yourself in front of the decision makers who hire us, someone else is, I can promise you that. That's not meant to scare you, that's meant to light a fire under your ass. So let me tell you a little story about how I came to embrace direct marketing. When I started out, especially while I was still part-time, I did what people do. I embraced the pay-to-plays. I hoped that I would land it. I call it hope marketing, right? Hoping that if I just auditioned enough, then I might scrape together some gigs. And I did. I landed a fair amount of gigs for a while. But if you've been on the pay to plays, you know, man, that feast or famine cycle can be brutal. One month I'd have a solid run, next month not so much. And it finally dawned on me that if I wanted to make VO a successful career, then I had to stop waiting around for work to land in my lap. And that, kids, is when I started experimenting with cold emailing. And I don't mind telling you, the first few I sent were a little rough around the edges. I did what everybody does. I overthought everything. I agonized over every word. I was petrified I'd say the wrong thing or piss somebody off or be dismissed as, unprofessional. I spent way too much time overthinking and then hitting send and immediately regretting it. But I started to notice no one wrote back to me and told me my email sucked. In fact, what I discovered was there are a lot of helpful people in the world, and some of those emails turned into referrals to other people within those companies, and some of those turned into gigs. And that's when the light bulb went off. I thought, if I can get work with a half-decent email, what would a really good one do? So what makes a cold email great? It's not about the perfect sales pitch. It's not about flashy language to impress your prospects. It's just about being human, kids. Like, imagine you're at a coffee shop and you're striking up a conversation with somebody else in line. You don't lead off with, "Hi, I'm a voice actor. How would you like to hire me?" Of course not. You'd be friendly. You'd be approachable. You'd be genuine and real and authentic. And your cold email should feel exactly the same way. But when you're reaching out to prospects, whether it's e-learning producers or video producers or creative directors at an ad agency, your job is to make sure that they know that you understand them and their job and their challenges and their pain points, and that you can offer a solution. It's not about you, it's about them. What challenges are they facing, and how can your experience and your skills help them meet those challenges? So if you simply shift your mindset to approach cold email as an act of service and not an act of selling, you, my friend, will immediately stand out. All right, let's talk about the fear of annoying people, not the fear of annoying people. It's a big one. I get it. Everybody's afraid that if they cold email people, they will be painted as pests. But here's the reality. If your email is well written and respectful and relevant, meaning you demonstrate that you understand them and their challenges, then the vast majority of people will not see that as annoying. In fact, oftentimes, I get grateful replies. Think about it. How many times have you been overwhelmed with a project and you would appreciate somebody kind of swooping in and offering a solution. You and your skills and your email could be that exact thing for somebody else. Now, that said, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. A wrong way is to blast out an email to hundreds of people just to see. It's like throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks, right? That's not marketing. That, my friends, is spam. The right way is to research your target audience and send messaging that caters to their needs. For example, if you're reaching out to corporate video producers, then you need to demonstrate in that email that you understand the challenges of corporate video producers. Show them you've done your homework and you're not just spamming in the dark. Wasn't that a Springsteen song? Now, I'm never going to bullshit you. It does take time and effort. And a lot of voice actors shy away from cold emailing because they feel like it's this overwhelming time commitment. They imagine just, being hunched over the computer all day, slaving over the emails with little or no return, Bob Cratchit. First of all, if you don't have a good system in place, it can be a massive time suck. But let me ask you this. How much time do you spend auditioning on the pay-to-plays endlessly? Custom recording scripts all day long and God, keeping your fingers crossed that something's going to come home to roost. Which use of your time has a bigger payoff? I personally spend less than an hour a week on email marketing, and it is the single best hour I spend all week in terms of growing my business. It is by far the most effective means available to me to get business in my door. Now, one thing you got to understand about cold emailing is it is a long game. The chances of you reaching out to a prospect at the exact date and time they have a project that is right for you are astronomical. You're not going to wake up the morning after you send that first batch of emails to a flooded inbox full of job inquiries. Ain't going to happen, kids. Think of it as planting a garden. Some seeds sprout quickly. Some take months, even years to start to break through the soil. And some won't grow at all, and that's okay. The key is planting consistently. When I first started using this strategy, I didn't book anything for weeks, and I mean months. I sent out hundreds of emails. I followed up religiously with prospects. And I didn't get much in the beginning, but I didn't give up because I knew that every time I reached out to a prospect, I was planting a new seed. It was a chance to get on the radar of someone new. And sure enough, over time, those seeds began to sprout. I started to hear back from prospects who I had marketed to, who had not even replied, and yet filed my information for later use and reached out to me when they had a project come up that I might be right for. And that happened months after I started marketing to them. Some of them are still my best clients to this day. So here's the other thing. We think about like auditions, right? When you audition, you send an audition in and you don't hear back for several weeks, you can be pretty positive that you did not book that gig. The same is not true for cold emailing. I regularly have prospects reach out to me that I haven't marketed to in literally years. And they say, hey, Paul, I think I've got something for you. And most often they hand me the job because they're already familiar with my demos. They know what I can do, and I don't even have to audition. Sometimes I do have to audition, and that's okay too. And that happens multiple times a quarter. Not hearing back on your cold email from any individual prospect does not mean no. And here's the other thing you need to understand about direct marketing with cold email. It's not primarily about booking gigs. Yes, that is an outcome, but what it's really about is building relationships. When you send a thoughtful, well-researched email to a prospect, you're introducing yourself as more than just a voice actor. You are now a consultant who understands their needs and who can deliver solutions to meet those needs. They won't, in all likelihood, need your services right now. But if you do it right, they'll remember you, they'll file you away for when the right time comes along. And this is where radically consistent follow-up comes in. If you don't hear back from a prospect after that first email, don't sweat it. Ain't nothing but a thing. People are busy, especially the people you're going after. Stuff gets lost in the shuffle, and that's why follow-up is critical, and you've got to be radically consistent about it. You cannot just follow up once, or in most cases when I talk to voice actors, they send an email or call somebody and they never follow up again. Depending on the research that you look at, most sales research says it takes between 6 and 12 touches to engage a prospect. And in fact, most of my clients did not respond until the second, third, sixth email in the sequence, often even longer. All right, so let's help you feel a little less overwhelmed by all of this. Let's break it down and simplify it. Here's how to get started with direct marketing. First, identify your target audience. Who do you want to work with? Is it video producers on the corporate side? Is it advertising agency creative directors to do commercials? Is it animation studios? You have to understand the audience segment that you're going after. Narrow it down so you can focus your efforts. Number two, find prospects that meet those criteria. You can use LinkedIn, you can use Google, you can use industry directories, you can use software like Apollo.io. The key is to look for the decision makers, the people who make the decision to hire you as a voice actor. Creative directors, producers, casting managers. Third, research your prospects, please. Before you email anyone, take the time to understand and build a client avatar. This is a general picture of a segment of the audience that you're going after that embodies all the qualities that you're looking for. For example, your ideal ad agency creative director, your ideal healthcare video producer, your ideal e-learning video module producer. 4, craft a compelling email. Rule number 1, keep it short. Rule number 2, see rule number 1. They don't need a Dostoevsky novel, kids. Introduce yourself, explain why you're reaching out, show them how you can help. Keep it about them, their problems, their pain points, and their challenges. Include your demo and a clear call to action and get the hell out of there. 5, follow up. Please, if you don't get a response for a week, follow up. Be polite, be professional. Don't ask for work. Then follow up every quarter. 6, you got to track your efforts. If you don't track your efforts, you don't know what the hell you're doing. And a spreadsheet really isn't going to cut it, kids. But if that's all you got, then that's what you use. Ideally, you're going to use a CRM, customer relationship management software. That will give you a 360-degree view of the marketing that you've done with that client, all the communications that you've had with them back and forth, so that you get a great look at that client relationship over time. And number 7, and this is the key to everything, be consistent. You have to set aside time every day in the beginning, and then maybe you can whittle it down to every week like I have over time. Doesn't have to be hours and hours a day. Once you get your system set up, you can spend 30, 40, 50 minutes on it per day. And it will make a huge difference over time if you have a solid system. Direct marketing, it's not magic, kids. You don't have to be a wizard. It's also not a shortcut to instant success. It takes time. But it is, in my humble opinion, the most effective way to take control of your voiceover career and build a sustainable voiceover business. Yeah, it's work. Yeah, it takes time. But the rewards, steady clients, repeat clients, and the sense of accomplishment and self-satisfaction that comes with knowing you built your own business with your own efforts are worth every ounce of that effort. If you really want to learn direct marketing and the processes and systems, I highly recommend, with unapologetic and obvious bias, that you check out the VO Freedom Master Plan. It's my signature course to teach the art and science of direct prospecting through cold email to voice actors. We teach you how to get more leads, more roster ads, more audition opportunities, more jobs handed to you without having to audition, and more opportunities for recurring and repeat work, all by reaching out directly to prospects. Click that link in the description and show notes, and heads up, we will be opening another cohort for the VO Freedom Master Plan very soon. So make sure you get on the waiting list for that, and that means you'll be the first to know when we open that new cohort. Don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when we publish a new video every week. And we just passed, as of filming this video, over 4,000 subscribers, and I just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you who subscribes to our content, who supports us with your comments, who participates in the discussion, not only here on YouTube, but in our VO Pro community and in the larger VO community. So thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting each other. The more we talk, the more we have civil dialogue, the more we exchange information and ideas, the better, stronger industry we will have for everyone. Thanks so much, and we'll see you back here real soon. Back here? Sure.